If you survived this week, congratulations, you are a hero. Today, historical metrics have pointed to the bottom of Bitcoin price, and analysts have explained why Iran's Bitcoin scheme is beautiful but unworkable fantasy. North Korean hackers busted themselves with the password 123456. Ton has accelerated 10 times, and one solo miner with ancient equipment just got rich by $222,000. So we have something to discuss today. Don't forget to subscribe, like up this video, and let's get started. Let's start with the main thing, which is Bitcoin. Crypto quant analyst Ignacio Moreno de Vicente has published data that will make bulls smile and bears nervously smoke on the sidelines. The Sharpe ratio for Bitcoin dropped to -40, and this is a deep negative zone. And do you know what that means? Historically, when the Sharpe ratio reached such values in 2015, 2019, 2020, and 2023, this was followed by an increase. The pattern repeats. The surrender has occurred, weak hands throughout Bitcoin, and the forced sales are over, and now the market is moving into a recovery phase. Ignacio explains that on the chart of the buy and sell pressure indicator, we see that the orange zone is a capitulation, panic, and drain, and it's already behind us. But the blue zone, which is a real resumption of demand, has not yet been reached. It is this gap between capitulation and a resurgence in demand that has historically been the best entry point. Asymmetric risk, the growth potential greatly exceeded the risk of further decline. Saylor himself stated that Bitcoin has already reached the bottom in the region of 60,000, and according to him, the latest drop was caused by overcredited miners and weak participants who liquidated. The offer from them has dried up, and the demand from ETFs and corporate investments continues to grow. Glassnode, however, is not so optimistic. They say yes, Bitcoin bounced from 67 to 72,000 on the news of the truce, but demand remains weak, futures are sluggish. Two conditions are necessary for a sustainable recovery. The first is to stabilize the cost of short-term holders. The second is a sharp reduction in losses for those who bought at the peak of the cycle. Now, long-term investors are recording losses of more than 4,000 Bitcoins per day, and this is a signal of capitulation. As soon as this indicator falls below 1,000 Bitcoins per day and the price returns above $81,600, then we can talk about a trend change. But in general, analysts expect a rally to 78,000 in the near future, and then maybe, just maybe, up to $180,000 or $200,000 by the end of the cycle, as some optimists predict. Now for the news that sobers the euphoria. Do you remember how Iran demanded payment for passage through the Strait of Hormuz in Bitcoins? And analysts now have studied the issue and gave a verdict. The scheme is practically impossible through legal channels. Why, you may ask? Because shipping companies that use the strait are mostly regulated in the West, and they are subject to strict regulations and requirements, and if there is a risk that a deal will be sanctioned, no dealer will take it up. Jake Ostrovskis from Wintermute explains bluntly, shipping companies are already under strict control and they work in high-risk field. Any hint of connection with Iran and you are on the blacklist immediately. And even if the operators try to use gray schemes, they will be busted by the transparency of the blockchain. Falcon X's Bolhan Hassan says it doesn't matter if it's stablecoins or Bitcoin, everything is in public registers. Sooner or later, this transaction will be seen. US intelligence agencies will track the transaction and add the tanker's owner or the intermediary to the OFAC blacklist. And that's the end of the business for them. The only ones who can work according to the scheme are the shadow fleet. Ghost companies that already actively using crypto to circumvent sanctions, but for them the risk is also high. By the way, Iran has already built a large-scale infrastructure to circumvent sanctions through crypto. Last year alone, the IRGC spent more than $3 billion through digital assets. The value of the entire crypto ecosystem of the country is $7.8 billion. But charging for passage through an intermediary tied to the corpse is just too much. It's way too obvious. Alright, then there is a story that might have been funny if it hadn't been so scary and stupid. On-chain detectives XBT gained access to the internal payment server of North Korea. An An anonymous source leaked the data, 390 accounts, correspondence, and the cryptocurrency transactions. And what was there? The website luckyguys.site, and it is an internal Discord-style payment platform where North Korean IT specialists report to supervisors on payments received. And the default password for 10 users is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yup, that's right. North Korean hackers who break into billions of dollars worth of crypto exchanges use the password 1 through 6. Imagine that. You heard that right. So the scheme looks like this. North Korean developers disguised as ordinary freelancers get involved into crypto projects, fake identities, fake documents, and deep fakes at interviews. One of them, under the nickname Cherry, worked with a computer where all the data was stored. Chat logs, fake resumes, browser history, and the password is 1 through 6, as you remember. From December 2025 to April 26, more than $3.5 million were transferred to fake wallets in Hong Kong. The money was converted to fiat via Chinese bank accounts and Pioneer. ZaxBT has restored the complete organizational structure of the network. The 3 companies featured in the report aren't under OFAC sanctions, and the server administrator sent the group training module on cybersecurity, disassembly, decompilation, and debugging. And by the way, a video recently appeared on X where an IT specialist from DPRK was asked to insult Kim Jong-un at an interview. The candidate did not do this and the picture froze.
We get like a lot of imposter candidates, particularly North Koreans, like posing as like people that they're not. So one of the tests that we do is trying to get them to say something like, Kim Jong-un is a fat ugly pig. Could you say that for me?
시장?
Sorry, no, Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea.
Yeah, I should say like that.
Because in North Korea, criticizing the leader is a criminal offense. The guy pretended to be Japanese Taro Aikuti, and the day after the video was posted, he deleted all his resumes and changed his nickname on Telegram. ZaxBT notes that this group is less sophisticated than famous Applegees and Trader who hacked 1.5 billion on Bybit. But they still pose a serious threat, On a positive note, the Ton blockchain has activated the Cat Chain 2.0 update. The bandwidth has increased tenfold, and Pavel Durov personally reported on the success, and blocks are now created 6 times faster, and transactions are instantaneous. It's less than just a second. And this is just the first step of 7 steps to making the Ton great again. The next one is to reduce the already low fees by another 6 times. And the Ton exchange rate increased by 2% on the news. However, the coin is still in red by 57% over the year. But an upgrade is a serious beat for the future. And the last news is for the fans of a lottery and crypto romance. A single miner with a hash rate of only 70 terahash per second mined a block of Bitcoin. The reward is 3,128 Bitcoins, and that's $222,074. And 70 terahash per second, Carl. This is the level of ancient and miner as 17 plus 2019, Equipment that accounts for only 0.0000069% of total network hash rate. The administrator of the Siki pool calculated that the chance of generating a block with such equipment is 1 in 100,000 per day. On average, there is one such result for 300 years of continuous work. And this guy just simply did it. For the second time in a month, by the way, this happened. On April 3rd, another solo miner with capacity of 230 terahashes received $210,000. But overall, according to statistics over the past year, singles have found only 22 blocks. So luck is like that. It comes when you're not expecting it. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe, take care of your deposits, and never use the password 1 through 6, even if you are a North Korean hacker. And I will see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye.